Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Let's Talk. And I'm really excited for this one because today we have a very interesting topic. We'll be talking about academic excellence. And it is something that we all look forward to, right? So, how to utilize your time at your university, schools, or colleges. So, today we have a special guest, Naman, and like he has really achieved a lot. So, we'll get to him and he'll help us understand, what are the things that one should do to get these things right so that they can utilize their time efficiently. So before we get into the questions and the normal stuff we do, we'll quickly go to Naman and take a small intro from him where he'll tell us about how he reached where he is and how he managed to get all those things done. So let's quickly go to Aman. Naman, sorry, yeah. Hi Naman, how are
Yeah.
you? So
Hi,
you can
Andres.
start.
First of all, thanks for inviting me to your talk. And I've been seeing your talks, and those are pretty amazing, right? That is a compliment from my end for you. So, talking about my introduction. So, currently, I'm working as a product manager at Internshala trainings, right? I recently got graduated in mechanical engineering from Chandigarh Engineering College. So, I started out with my first job at Internshala, right? That was in the field of product management only, and I started out as an intern. So my journey is like very interesting. I would say that because I think in my sixth standard I started participating in project competitions. I'll talk about it later when we'll have a conversation. So yeah, that was an initial point when I started participating, and after that I wanted to leave an impact wherever I was going, right? Either in school or in my college. So when I entered into the college, I saw that there was a lot of crowd, right? I wanted to stand out of the crowd, and also I wanted to solve a lot of problems around me. I was like having very innovative mind right back then, or obviously I have that innovative mind now as well. But yeah, I always wanted to solve problems, and that thing came handy in securing an internship at Internshala, right? And right now, if I'm working at Internshala, I feel I'm doing that thing which amazes me the most, right? I like doing solving problems. I like providing innovative solutions, right? And product management is all about solving problems, and like basically we talk about what to solve, how to solve, why to solve, and when to solve, right? So all these things are catered in product management, and simply I love doing all those things.
That's great, man. So, before we get to the questions, one thing that was wondering, before I was reading about you on the LinkedIn as well, man. Like you are from mechanical background, right? And then you're working at a company that's quite different from the normal. Even Internshala was quite new idea back then as well, right? So, how was the switch, man? Like, what was the things that you did that from being a mechanical engineer and working as a product manager, like? How hard was it and what things you did to make that even possible, like what skill set you gained and how you make it happen? Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, first of all, whenever anyone selects any organization, right, I feel if you are culturally aligned, or you are aligned with the main motive which a company wants to leave, or a legacy which company wants to leave, right, then only you join that organization for your career. So basically, I was very much interested in what Internshala was doing, right, and obviously they have. They are changing students life, right? They have a lot of different products, and we all know how Internshala has helped each one of us in gaining internships, right? So that was a kind of thing, first of all, which helped me to select Internshala as my first step in my career, right? About the second question, I transitioned from mechanical engineering background to product management, right?
Yeah.
I So let's talk about my journey. So basically, in my sixth standard, I participated in a competition. It was a competition from National Innovation Foundation, right? They have a competition named as Ignite, where school students could send their innovative ideas, right? And Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam ji used to award all those selected ideas, and that came out as a motivation for me, right? I'm still getting goosebumps when I'm saying or when I'm telling you about this, because in my sixth or seventh standard, I was given a book, Wings of Fire, right? I read that book and I was like really inspired from what all things he has done, right? And how he like pushed himself, right, from a very low background to becoming president of India. So
Like
that was,
I'm inspired by that man, right? Like he's a person. When you talk about him, he's the inspiration for a lot of us. Like even I draw inspiration from him, right? So at that age, getting to meet him is more than enough, and you're getting awards from him. So that is really great. So yeah, so like at in seventh standard, and you're doing things like that. What drove you, man? Like how at that small
yeah.
age we are playing video games and you were trying to get into these things? How?
Yeah, so like basically, I'll tell you an instance in my sixth standard, our biology teacher, right? He talked about this competition and he was kind of like shaming us that you are in sixth standard and see students from third standard are doing some innovative projects, right? Indirectly, he wanted us to work on those innovations, and so that was present in back of my mind, and I sent my first idea in that competition. Unfortunately, I could not win that competition, right? And the idea which I sent was, I always used to forget to switch off the lights of my room, right? So what I did was, I thought that we could have a foot mat. Whenever you would remove your shoes, the lights would go off, and when you will keep those shoes on that foot mat, the lights would go on. So that was a basic problem which I thought that it needs to be solved, or I participated in that competition, but I could not win that competition. And I think during my school time, that was a thing which helped me to continuously work on the innovations. Right, I used to build projects in my school time as well. But when I entered into college life, or when I was about to enter into college life, right, I was thinking to join mechatronics as an engineering field. I was like very much interested in electronics and machines back then. But the kind of sensors we have today, right? I always get very you could say, I always get amazed by all those things happening around me. So I always wanted to do mechatronics, but there were no such colleges in North who could provide you mechatronics as an career opportunity, or as an engineering trade. So I thought to join mechanical engineering, right? And when I entered on the first day, I promised myself that when I'll be leaving out, or when I'll be getting graduated, I would be that person who would be remembered after I left the college, right? I would want to become that person. That could be in any field, but I would want to stand out of the crowd. So yeah, so the first project which we built in our college, that was bus window safety system, right? That working on that project, sorry, we started working on that project as a first semester's project of ours, right? And we wanted to participate in science project display competition on the day of science day. So we thought that there's a problem. Many school students, when they used to travel in the buses, they used to take their hands out of the bus windows, right? And
Right.
a lot of accidents were happening just because of that. And even conductors were not, or maybe the bus helpers were not aware about that children are taking their hand out of the windows, right? And
Right.
just span of few seconds, the accident could happen. So we
Mhm.
wanted to solve that problem, and we came up with an innovative idea, and we used the same sensors which I used back in sixth standard, right? So
Right.
I initiated that idea. We used those sensors. We spent around only 80 rupees, right, to build that project, and we took a shoe box to install our sensors. And at the end of the day, we won that competition, right? We won around 2,000 rupees as a award money, and we even won a trophy. And we went on participating in a lot of different college competitions. So we were winning those competitions all around. And then we went on to participate in science. Pushpa Gujarat Science City, right? They have an annual innovation fest. We participated in that, and we won that competition as well. We were able to secure second position in that competition. So we realized that innovations matter, right? Money doesn't matter, or
Yeah.
maybe the idea matters and the execution matters. But at the end of the day, if you are able to present that idea in a perfect way, right, then only you would be able to stand out of the crowd. Because when we were presenting our idea at Science City, right? Uh, Coincidentally, the chief guest was a doctor over there, and he is currently a principal of a renowned institute in Punjab. And he came there to visit us, and he saw our innovation, right? And coincidentally, he talked about our innovation in his speech, and he talked about how he have like did some surgeries or did some operations just to cater those accidents, right? So yeah, he talked about our idea and he gave a lot of praises, and he told us that you are doing a good job. So yeah, that is how we started working on projects. And back then we were only four people, right? We were I'll tell you that story as well. We were four people, right? And we named our team as the M3N. So I'll talk about that. So for naming the M3N, we all picked our initials, right, from our first name, and all the other members were Mohit, Mrityunjay, Mohammed Jafar, and me, Naman, right? We picked initials of each and everyone's name, and we designed a car logo, right? Designing the car logo was our inspiration, that we are from mechanical engineering background, and we created a logo in such a way so that we could imbibe the M3N word in the logo itself, right?
Okay.
So we got t-shirts printed, and that is how we built our first team. And we went on to file a patent over this idea. So yeah, this is how I started out with you could say solving problems in my first year.
Yeah, so that's a lot of things you did in your first year. Like, when like even when we all, go to college, the first year is like time to settle down, try to understand what's going around, etc. But you just, going there and you're spot on, right? So that's really amazing. So with that, I have this question for you. So yeah, what academic excellence means to you, right? Like, what do you mean by academic excellence, or rather I should say that, what do you mean by success? Like you did talk about that, money is not everything, definitely. But according to you, if you are in a college and you say that I'm successful, right? So what is that thing that makes you say that yes, I'm successful? Is it the money? Is it the trophies that are winning? Is it the competitions that are winning? It's the, getting famous, getting to like knowing more people. So what is it, that thing that gives you this sense of being successful? Yeah, over to
Yeah.
you.
So I feel, in my terms, academic excellence does not mean that you are getting good marks in your exams, right? Or you are getting good marks when you are getting out of your degree.
Well,
You are
that's not how
graduating.
you feel, though. That's what most colleges feel, right? That getting good marks, good CGPA is what excellence is, right?
Yeah, but I think it's very subjective, right? Right. But for me, I feel it was not like I want to secure good marks in the exams. That was a byproduct of all the inputs which I was putting. But I feel at the end of the day, it was not a thing which was motivating me or pushing me to do different things, right? Also the achievements which we were getting, or achievements which we are securing, right, those were even not the part of our academic excellence. I feel my terms the academic excellence was that I was very curious, right? I wanted to know each and everything. I did not settle down until or unless I get an answer to that question, right? So that was first thing which defined my academic excellence, right? Second thing was that I wanted to try observe things from a different angle, right? Like let's say there's a cube, right? You could see all the sides over there. But if you will see another side of that cube, right, you will see another thing. You will try seeing things from another perspective. So I always kept that thing in my mind, that I always want to observe from a different observe things from a different perspective, right? So that was the second thing which helped me. Third thing was that we were implementing our learnings, the all the things. Being a mechanical engineer, right? You get to know a lot of things, how machines work, right? How different systems work, how different processes work. So we were able to implement our learnings in some of our projects, right? And that came out. uh, as an achievement for us, because you don't get to learn these things right in the college. You have to struggle yourself for implementing your learnings which you are constantly learning in your class, right? So yeah, we were able to do those things.
But
So I
yeah,
feel,
that really brings us to something that's very important. Like when we are in college, most of us feel that just going after getting good CGPA, scoring high in your projects or something is everything. No, guys, what Naman is saying is very important as well. Like when we see the world as a whole, right? Most of the people are kind of dropouts who have really went on to change the world because I read this quote from again I think yeah it's from Musk only. He says that if you don't know anything about something, right, and you're gonna get into that field, it is this is a high probability that you're going to do it differently, and that is more important, right? Because generally what we do, at least what I see also around myself being in academics or college, that we are dictated what to do, and we generally just go on following it and try to just compete that who does it better, rather than I guess what Naman suggests, that you should go on. It's a good idea that whatever you're learning, just go ahead, try to make some projects, implement, and I guess that's one of the key things you should do at colleges, right, Naman? I guess.
yeah, so I'll just quickly give an example for that as well, right? So in our first year, most of the engineering graduates would relate that we have to work in different workshops, right? We, as a part of our curriculum. So we went on to work in foundry shop, right? And in foundry shop, we have to work with foundry sand, right? So that was a black sand which used to get sticked to our clothes, right? And our clothes used to get dirty every time when we were working in that shop. So we thought that there should be some process for this. Like for you were just cleaning the sand with your hands, and your clothes were getting dirty. We were like really frustrated with that thing, right? And at the end of first year, as a part of mechanical engineering curriculum, you have to build a project, right? So we went on building a solar powered hand riddle, right? Using just your single hand, you could do the riddling process, and your clothes would never get dirty, right? And we what came us handy over here, that we implemented our learnings which we were learning in our mechanical engineering classes. We implemented various processes, right? If you are let's say if you are rotating a circle in this way, how you would translate the motion into a linear or a translatory motion, right? Because that then only you could riddle the sand. So yeah, that only came out from the learnings which we were learning from the class. And yeah, we when we presented that project in that competition, everyone liked that project, and they were simply saying that you have done a great job.
So definitely, it pays off, man. Like when you understand something and you implement it, well, the practical knowledge is more critical than than the theory is important. But once you get it, hands dirty, then you tend to, how to make things happen. That is very important because most of us know a lot, but hardly have an experience. So this is great. So let's move on to the next question, right? Which is related to this only, the college curriculum. Are you satisfied the way the colleges operate, be it in India, be it abroad, or like the curriculum that we see in colleges? Is it fine? What do you think about it? Is it the right way to impart education to students and to make them ready to succeed in their life? Yeah, over to you.
I would say that it's very subjective, right? For me, I'm not completely satisfied with the current operations, right, or the current curriculum structure which every college or every engineering college have, right? So I feel the education policies which the government have launched recently, right? Whenever that policy would come into place, I think a lot of things would get improved, and they would improve gradually, right? But in the students who are in the current curriculum, or who are working in the current operations, right, or who are doing studies in the current,
Our generation, rather, right? We
yeah,
like, yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
I would suggest them to like do a lot of practical things, right? Just go in your college, right? Not for learning, not just for learning. Try convincing your teachers or your HODs or maybe your principals, right? that we want to build some projects, we want to implement our practical knowledge, and we want to work on some research oriented innovative things, and we want to be an entrepreneur, right? If you will start out with that particular mindset, I think then only you would be able to maybe improve yourself, or maybe improve the current curriculum, right? And it is a two-way thing, right? Let's say when the national education policy comes into play, new education policy comes into place, right? Then it would be totally dependent upon the students, right? If students are putting efforts, if students would be putting efforts, right, then only they could get a complete benefit out of it. Otherwise, they would simply blame the structure that ठीक है हमने पॉलिसी चेंज कर दिया but it still does not have any effect on us, right? So yeah, I think it's a two-way thing, right? Government is doing their initiatives, you have to do your initiatives as well, then only you will be able to maybe succeed.
So yeah, like what do you suggest? Like even when I was at college, right, and we used to go after projects. This thing that happens a lot is how to convince a teacher, right, that okay, you're gonna leave that class and you're gonna do something useful out of it. Most of the faculties are like, hey, no man, like we won't give you attendance. No, no, you have to sit here, study this, etc. So how you manage that, right? Because definitely you want creativity. You have a lot of time at colleges, I agree, but at times you need to take your faculties in loop as well, because after all you have to pass your degree as well, right? Most of us won't want to simply drop out and do great things, while I don't know why it is the case, but most of the people who I see at the top of the ladders are those who simply just find the other path than the common path that we all follow. So what's your advice for, at least for the at least for us, that if we want to do something like this, how should we approach our faculties, or rather I should say how how we should choose our faculties, like who are the teachers we should go and approach, who can really help us push forward, and how to manage these attendance kind of stuff, because attendance is something, even for those who don't want to get into these things but even wanted to hang around, it's a problem for everyone, right? So what's your view on this, how we can make this happen? Yeah.
Yeah, amazing question, right? So I feel every student face this problem a lot, that they don't get attendance, right? But yeah, I think it is a very secondary thing, right? So let me talk about it. So in our time, right, when we used to bunk classes for doing some productive things, right? So we used to convince our teachers that if we would not be able to do any productive thing after bunking this class, you could like depart us from this entire semester, right? We would not be sitting in the exams. We were ensuring them by this way, and they were trusting us, right? And even in our first year, when we participated in those competitions, right, when we were winning those competitions, so they realized that we had something in our mind. We had we all four had something in our mind, that we want to do something and we want to stand out of the crowd. That is how the college teachers or college faculties started believing in us, right? So in the initial days, we also faced problems. We were not getting the attendances, right? But when we used to participate in the competitions and we were not struggling to get attendance, or we were not thinking about all those things, right? When we were coming back after winning those competitions, we were automatically getting those attendances, or we were automatically going to our teachers and they used to teach us. So yeah, this is a simple hack, or maybe a simple trick which worked well for us. So yeah, as a takeaway, I would suggest that you should always focus only on the things, only on the output, right? If you are putting more inputs into it and you are executing things in a perfect way, then everything would go parallel or go hand in hand.
So that's interesting. Like even if we talk about this, as a perspective of getting your teachers into to trust you, the first thing you need to do is give them proof. So as Naman is suggesting also, that one thing that's very important for us is that simply go around and do something as you land in your college, and and that will help you, because even in my personal experience, like when even I went into college, I get to know friends, made friends. We also went on to do things like this, and we really got a lot of advantage. Like for us, most of the time we were out of the classes, but no, for the good reasons, I assure you. And we always got attendance because the teachers knew that we were doing something. We were able to show them something that we did back in our classes. So that thing has an impact. So that's great. So with that, I want to move to our next question. That's for student like us, right? Like what I have observed, it's my personal experience. It may be right, may not be. That most of the students who are in non-CSE background, right, in other fields of technology, they somewhat feel that they are kind of underrepresented in terms of getting a job or the job openings available, because they say that most of the jobs are for CSE guys, or they are kind of looking for people with programming skills, and they hardly get anything they can do with the core things that they're doing. So what's your advice to them? Like, you are able to kind of jump from your domain to something that's totally different for you. So what's an advice for those people who feel like this, that like they won't be able to get a lot of jobs, there's not a lot of job opportunities available, and they generally get disheartened because of this. So what do you want to tell those people that, yeah, like you are an example for them? So yeah.
So yeah, amazing question. I would say that just takeaways, few takeaways which I would like to deliver. That is, firstly, don't let go any opportunity from your hands, right? If you are availing each and every opportunity, right, after analyzing different things, right, that is that opportunity for me. Like you would not go randomly and take any opportunity, right? But you should not let go all those opportunities which are coming in your way, right? So that is the thing which worked for well for us. We were picking up those opportunities which were working good for us, and we were eradicating those ones which were not meant for us, right? So first thing is that. Second, build or work on different projects, right? Different products. You would simply learn a lot. You would simply able to implement your learnings, right? Or as I said earlier as well, that you would be able to implement your theoretical knowledge to your practical knowledge, right? That would surely help you in your exams as well, because as a part of this, as an example, when we worked on that retailing project, right, retail project, we were able to mention that project as an example in our exams, right, to explain different processes of that question. So yeah, that came as a handy thing for us. Third thing would be like make mistakes. Never stop yourself from making mistakes. We ourselves made a lot of mistakes, right? We sometimes we were not able to work on few things, right? Or just because of our mistakes, or sometimes we were not able to like uh, get to the top, get to the list of the top achievers, right? Just because of our mistakes. So I would say, see you make mistakes and learn from them and try improving constantly, right? That would be a third takeaway. Fourth would be interact with people and build your network. Never stop yourself from talking to a stranger in your college, right? Because college is that atmosphere where you could talk to simply anyone, right? You would not feel any pressure or anything, because after you will leave the college, right, you would be meeting a lot of people, right? Let's say, let's talk about sales guys. Sales people meet a lot of people, right? They have to simply convince a lot of people out there. So yeah, I would say just go and interact with people, right? Those who are doing amazing stuff, or those who want to do amazing stuff. You will simply learn a lot. So yeah, as a takeaway, another takeaway, I was thinking this term about from the product management domain itself, or from the startup world itself, that every startup talks about a product market fit, right? So what does that mean? So they mean that build products which are fit for market, right? Don't build products which have to go in the market and find a fit. So I realized it is totally applicable on people, right? So I named this term as person market fit. Be a person who is fit for the market, but not be the person who is going into the market and finding a fit for himself or herself. Yeah. So that is the thing which simply helped me in gaining an internship, right? I was a person market fit, right? So because I was able to do, or I was able to represent all those things which I did. Yeah. So that is simply which would help you, which would help all the non-CSC people. And there are a lot of jobs available, right, for non-technical backgrounds as well. And I have seen that people are transitioning from civil engineering background, mechanical engineering background, and all those other backgrounds to the domains which even CSC background people are handling. So yeah, there's no limit.
Yeah, that's great. what I really feel that this division based on your background, I don't think so. It makes any sense because here people are even like SpaceX, the guys who were doing the rocket, they didn't know anything about it and they made a rocket, right? So I really feel that it is important. The most important thing is to know what you want to do, keep that faith in yourself that yes, I want to do this. And I guess in today's world when everything is available on the internet, like what I felt, personal experience of completing 4 years, even I guess Naman will feel the same way. Almost everything is available on the internet to learn. I don't think so anything special again except the experience of working in a team, making friends, interacting with people. These are very key things that you can only get in a college, and you should take full advantage. All the things that you're studying, etc., can be managed, I guess. So what do you think about this, Aman? Am I right? Can we do this?
Yeah, like this is a very good takeaway for all the students or for all the people, right? If you are going out and exploring things, right, and not putting yourself in a small box, right, you would surely achieve a lot. Try thinking of a big picture rather than just staying in your comfort zone, right? Always get out of your comfort zone. Then only you would realize that there are a lot of things and you would realize that you know nothing, right? Simply if you go with that mindset in the market, you would simply learn a lot, and even there are a lot of resources, right? And you could, I think, in today's time, if you are sitting at your home, right, and we have seen that people are getting graduated by just sitting at their homes just because of this COVID time. But yeah, I think simply if you'll utilize your resources effectively, right, it would surely help you in the long run. And obviously, it has come from our parents only, right? All the middle class people, right, or all the middle class parents, they teach their children that use resources effectively and not exploit them, right? So yeah,
Exactly.
that's the thing which you should implement.
Yeah, like even I want to say, guys, one thing is very important. हमें ये छोड़ना चाहिए कि ऐसा ही होता है. This is the most common thing that we even in my case also I feel the same way that when you are suffering, you're not getting jobs and etc. Then say यार ऐसा ही होता है, अब हर बीटेक वाले के साथ ऐसा होता है. That's wrong, guys, because that's what other feel. And what we do, we just simply catch these things from others. If something happened with that guy, well, it's gonna happen with me. No, guy. You should be like, you are special, right? You are different from any other person. Then they are special in their own sense. Just go ahead, find your road, and you're gonna reach there. That's very important. So with that, we come to our next question. I guess I counted how many patents you had. Like I guess 12 were there. Maybe you can just confirm the number. So the question is, man, how? Like we got 4 years only in college, and you're doing 12 patents, right? I don't know. In that movie Three Idiots, Rancho was having 24 patents, right? So you're halfway through, man. How you're making that happen?
Yeah, so I feel I'll just quickly give an instance, right? When we worked on that 82-piece project, right? There was a senior who saw our project and he told us that, "Bhaiya, patent file karo, nahi to someone would copy your idea." So we were like struggling that what this patent means, right? We were not knowing that पेटेंट क्या होता है, लाइक हमको नहीं पता क्या होता है, राइट? वी डोंट नो इवन ABCD of that. So yeah, we went to our college authorities. We told them that we want to file a patent, right? And we struggled a lot for our first patent because it was our first thing, right? But yeah, when we filed that patent and when we were like adding that thing to our different project competitions when we were presenting, right? So they were like trusting on us. They were having a trust that it is their own idea, it is their own innovation, right? So that is this is how we realized that securing your innovations, right, or securing your ideas means a lot or matters a lot in today's time, right? So yeah, as we were participating in different competitions in our college. So during my 4 years of college, I participated in around 45 plus competitions
Great.
roughly, and those were not limited to hackathons projects, but there were a lot of competitions, right? So always we were working on different projects, right? And those were our innovations only. We used to firstly think of the idea first, then we used to work on executing it, right? So this is how we worked on filing different patents, and we went on to file 12 patents.
So that's great, man. Like, you went on 45 competitions. I guess, on an average, a normal person will say, hey, man, like, if even if I do two or three, it's more than enough for me. And you're going to 45 such competitions. So then that surely shows the way. And, like, if you want to really make things happen, the best way is to just apply it, right? And get it done. That's what, most important takeaway that we all can have is, just simply learn something, go ahead and apply it. And that's the best thing you can do. So, yeah, then we have our next question, connected to this only. Like, you have won really so many awards, like, even you were like, so many national level hackathons, and you are, coming in the top people over there. So what's the hack behind this, right? Because, over there in like competition at your college level, you're competing with, the limited pool of people, but going out at the national level, competing with whole of India, right? The India's, filled with so many talented people, right? And beating them down at hackathons, like what's the hack behind it? And doing it again and again, man, like you have done it for so many hackathons, not just one or two, like, gone on doing it on a spree. So how you made it happen, what's the hack behind it? Yeah.
Yeah. So we used to, as I said, we used to participate in a lot of competitions, right? And we never participated for winning, right? Uh, there's a funny story behind it. We used to participate in national level hackathons because we used to get sponsored trip to another location, right? For the offline hackathons. That was one thing for which we participated in hackathons. But apart from other things, we participated just to represent or showcase what skill set we had, right? Or what kind of knowledge or what kind of things we could build, even coming from a tier 3 college and competing with a person who is from IIT, right? In the national level hackathons, you get compete with those people, and you could simply understand uh, that amount of knowledge which they have, right? Or amount of things which they do in their college, that is like simply commendable, right? So you have to compete at the end of the day with those people. So yeah, we always push ourselves, and in one such competition we as an example, I'll give you the hustle which we did during our college time. In one such competition we were traveling for the entire day, right? And we reached the venue just before a day, and we reached very late in the night, but unfortunately we were not able to have dinner at that night, right? And we were still not ready with our presentations, or still not ready with the things which we were going to present, right? Because we were traveling for the entire day. So we went on to sleep just for an hour maximum, right? Everyone of us slept for an hour, and we worked straight for the entire night, working on a presentation, right? And doing all those things which were needed to present. So yeah, I think that if you have that thing in your mind, if you are highly driven, and if you are ready to hustle, right, then I think you could win, or maybe you could do wonders, right? So it is not limited to just hackathons. Even you could go at international level and you could present yourself. So yeah,
Yeah,
this is
that
one thing.
that's great, man. But with that, one question I have, like, you guys are doing such a great work, from starting from your school time, getting into college, and starting with this innovations, but when we see India as a whole, right, when we talk about India as a bigger picture, what happens is that we see that, like I'm interested in, military stuff and technology. So I just did get this news that, we are not able to develop our engine, we are lagging behind in certain technologies, we are, like, when we are competing with a country, like China or something, in terms of technology race or something, we are, they say that we are lagging behind. So what's the reason? This country is full of talented people, like you are there, and there are so many people are there, right? Still, when it comes to, getting things done, getting things implemented, smaller countries like Taiwan are way ahead than us. Like, Taiwan has, I guess, one of the biggest manufacturer of, the chipsets that you use in a mobile. So, like, what's the reason you feel is that, that's pushing, or no, that's rather pulling us back, that, making things happen? Because we have great people over here. We kind of, now also have the environment as well. But what's that thing that's pushing us, from that technological expulsion that we should have been witnessing? Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a really nice question, right? So first of all, I feel that people in India, right, they are they don't open their minds, or they don't think of a very big picture, right? If Even if, let's say, if you are starting a startup, right, firstly you would think of that how you could cater to the Indian market rather than thinking of a big picture, right? If you'll think of a big picture, then only then I think the Indian market is a very small market. You could cater to some larger markets, right? And we have seen those examples coming out, right? From Ola, Paytm, and all other. Oyo is such an amazing example, right?
Yeah.
So I feel that innovations are there in India, but first thing which they lack is they don't think of a very big picture, which is catering to the global market, right? Second thing is that they don't utilize their resources very effectively, right? But I think nowadays you'll see startups coming out, and they have this culture that use your resources effectively, right? And you would be given limited resources, and they provide you limited resources knowingly, because they want you to work with limited resources so that you could do wonders with just those resources. Just realize, when you would be given a lot of resources, right, what kind of things you could do with those. So that is second thing. But I think nowadays, startups like Pixel, right, they are working on launching satellites, and they have even got a praise from government of India, and they have like integrated their technology, or they are in touch with ISRO, right, for launching their satellites. So see a kind of space tech they are building, right? So yeah, I feel just don't put a halt to your minds. Think of a big picture, and you could become maybe someday like Elon Musk.
Yeah, so I guess this thing that hits me a lot at times. Like at times we have such unconventional ideas. Like as you were talking about Oyo itself, right? The idea was so unconventional. Like what they wanted to do at the beginning, like people were like what they're doing. They were like not even sure about it. But then you can see that the way they grew, right? Like they were having nothing, and in the beginning, just renting out few hotels, and then such a big, like I guess they're one of the biggest startups in India. So what do you say, like when we have an unconventional idea, right? What I've observed that Indian society, like if I have an idea and I go to my parents and say, hey, listen, I want to make a spacecraft, and they'll say, just sit down and do a simple job and relax. So what do you feel like, what, like there are many people like us who want to get these things done, but they are like kind of pulled back due to the, maybe we can say it's society, maybe one of the reasons. So what is your message to them, like if they have some unconventional ideas like this and they want to try it out? So what is your advice for them? How should they proceed and overcome these kind of obstacles that maybe society present to us, maybe? Yeah.
Yeah, so as an example to this, we worked on one patent, right? A team member filed a patent on a magnetic engine, right? So that was an engine which will work just on magnets. You don't have to fuel it, right? You will just have to use some powerful magnets, and using the repulsion and attraction theory over there, right? He worked on some innovation, and we were like literally amazed that कि ये क्या बता दिया तुमने. And even he went to his dad that I want to start a company, I want to build or I want to manufacture magnetic engines inside India, right? But I think he was like very much, you could say, aligned with his thoughts that he want to change the world, right? He want to bring this out in the market, right? And he went on to into the market, and he bought some stuff for maybe $1,000 and came back and built out a prototype, right? He presented it to our teachers and our HODs and even our principal, right? So they were interested in knowing that idea. But I think the thing which lacked over there was, we think of big picture, right? But sometimes we are not able to think of that how we would be able to execute it, right? So let's say if you are able to execute those things, or if you are able to think of ideas which are executable, right? I think you should focus on those ideas as of now, right? As you will grow. right? Or as you will achieve one level, or you will cater to one level, right? After that, you could work on those ideas, right? Which are possible, which are not possible to scale, or are not very possible to execute, right? But at that particular level, you could execute those ideas as well. And see the example of Elon Musk, right? He, he's working on such amazing things, and I feel this is a hack, or this is a thing which he generally talks about in his talks.
Yeah, even like even yeah, yeah, I follow this thing a lot, and I like this thing a lot about Elon Musk because what that person did, like even one of his interview, they were talking about, like they said that why you didn't make SpaceX public, or why didn't you directly reach the company, like why did you put all your money into that company, and you could have gone out to ask investors to fund in it. So he said this, that there could be some ideas which are really out of the way, and people will definitely not going to support you. So for that, what he did, he first did a lot of other things which were kind of conventional as you're talking, and gain money from there, and then put his own wealth over there, right? Like almost he put everything he had in those companies, what he did. And today you can see that those unconventional ideas are kind of changing the world. So this is something that we can do. Maybe rather we should think about first kind of raising capital, which can be if other people are not giving, investors are not supporting, you can go ahead, try other things, and raise capital on your own. Like there are a lot of things, like in today's time with internet around us, and you can go ahead and release applications or do a lot of stuff to get that thing and done. So yeah, that is an important thing that we all should look at. So yeah, with that, we move to this the next question that we have, that like you're constantly achieving at every level. You went throughout your academics time, even today you're doing that. So what advice do you give to those freshers who are just about to get into college, maybe, or are in in the final years of the school? So what advice do you have for them, what they should do? Like we were discussing, right, that from that time only we start getting conditioned that go ahead, you have to find a job after college, and this is what you have to, like our whole life has been just dictated to us that this all the things you're going to do. But there are many people who just don't want to follow that. So what's an advice for them? How should they start, like when they are coming to college day one? What is the thing that they should do? Yeah.
Yeah, so like nowadays, I feel that even the youngsters, right, or the people, those who are just in their school days, and they are just getting pass out from schools and transitioning to college life, right? They are doing such an amazing work. Let's say they are building some stuff on YouTube, right? They are working as a creator, and they have even a lot of subscriber base, right? So I feel that in today's time, right? Nowadays, you are not limited to doing engineering, or doing medical, or choosing medical as a field, right? There are a lot of career opportunities, right, in the market, which you could simply choose and make a career out of it. So I would say that if you want to select any career, right, you should ask yourself a lot of questions, that why I want to select this career, right? What things I would do after graduating from the college, right? You should think of a big picture. Then you should ask a question that, do we have those many resources? If I'm thinking of that much big picture, right, I should have those resources as well, right? And even I feel people struggle a lot. They take student loans, and they get depressed. But I feel nowadays, even they give a lot of scholarships, right? You Even I was a scholar. I got my 75 or 80% of fees waived off, and I was paying only 20% of my fees, and that I utilized that money in my projects, right? I worked on participating in different competitions, so that thing came out as a handy for me. So yeah, first thing is that you should ask yourself a lot of questions. Second thing, always like clarify a few things, right? Always clarify things before joining any career, right? So that would be a part of the asking a question thing. So then, let's say if you have selected your career trade, right, and you have entered into the college, so don't think of limited thing that you are into a tier 3 college, right? You would not do wonders. That how would I compete with a person who is graduating from engineering from IIT, right? Uh, I think it is just a waste of time, right? And if you'll keep thinking of those things, right, you would not be able to do a lot in your college time, right? We have simply 4 years and we want to change ourselves. We want, if we are thinking of changing others life, right, we should always keep the things at the back, and we should not focus on them. Rather we should take learnings from them, right? Rather we should learn that what things did went wrong or did go wrong while we were executing those things. So yeah, learn from your mistakes and never like blame anyone, right? If you have made the mistakes, take take the responsibility of that and try learning from that, right? Then always explore different domains, right? Let's say if you are, let's talk about me. I was into mechanical engineering field, right? But I participated in a lot of competitions. Those were even not related to my domain, right? We were building projects, products which are not limited to my domain. We were working on products like IoT, right? We were integrating battery technology with IoT, and we were controlling batteries input output through our mobile phones, right? Through our mobile phone applications. So that thing only came out when we interacted with different domains, right? When we did not limit ourselves to mechanical engineering as a field. So even for the internships, I did not want to do mechanical internships as such. I'll tell you that I realized that I don't want to be a mechanical engineer, right? I wanted to be an engineer, those the one who could solve problems, right? And that is how I became a product manager. And this is all a product manager does in his or her job, right? So yeah, don't limit yourself to a single domain. Then always ask for help whenever, wherever required, right? There are a lot of seniors, those who would help you in a very productive way, and they would help you in the long run, right? So always reach out to them, always reach out to your faculties, always reach out to all the people, those who are studying in different colleges, right? Always take help from them. And last but not the least, enjoy whatever you are doing, right? So as I said, that we used to participate in competitions, not to like do the winning thing or anything related to that, but we used to participate because we were simply loving that thing, right? We were simply enjoying that process. We used to go there and we used to like simply see the competitiveness around us, and we used to enjoy that. So yeah, always enjoy whatever things you are doing.
That's great, man. So like you won the SIS 2019, I guess, right? So how it felt, man, like winning a national level competition. That I guess SIS started way back in 2017. They started, so it was just 3 years old competition, and it's happening throughout the country, and winning there. How was the experience? And the main thing that you should discuss is how that team spirit comes at in play, because most people tends to feel that they're not succeeding, they're trying everything, but they fail to acknowledge is that to make something happen, you need a team, you need to work with a team, and that is the most probable way of succeeding. So yeah, how was your experience as a team when you won this competition, and definitely like how it felt? Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, the Smart India Hackathon is a very good initiative, right? As you said, it started out in 2017, right? So yeah, I feel it is that kind of competition which would give you credibility at the first hand, right? And, at the second hand, it would give you a great experience, right? It would be a experience for the lifetime. So yeah, it was an amazing experience, right? I'll talk about the process of Smart India Hackathon. So we participated in Smart India Hackathon's software edition, right? We chose a problem statement. It was given to us by Hero Electric Vehicles, and we had to come up with a solution to rent out lithium-ion batteries, because lithium-ion batteries are very costly, right? And for two-wheelers, you can't simply choose and sell those batteries to the general people. Otherwise, the cost of scooters would go to 1 lakh or 1.5 lakhs a piece, right? And they would not buy those scooters. So this was the problem statement which was given to us, or which was present in the public domain. We picked this problem statement up, and basically I worked on initiating the idea process, right? I thought that how would things work, right? How we would rent out batteries, and how all the stakeholders would be involved, and how the communications would go, right? How, like, maybe you could simply realize that what kind of execution, right? Like all the hows, all the whats, right? All the whys, we thought of those things, and we executed that idea. So basically, we sent out the presentation and we got selected for the final round, right? And before that, we had to work on the prototype. And unfortunately, our team member, there was one team member, he left our team because of some issues, and just before 10 days, right? And we had to invite some other team member, and like all of us in a team were very very talented, right? All of us were like handling uh, either one domain or the another of our entire project, right? Or our entire product. Someone was working on building the technology, someone was working on building out the back-end processes, someone was working on building out the front-end processes, someone was doing all the operations, right? So basically, it was a kind of mini startup, I would say, that the stealth mode startup, right? So we worked
Isn't
on.
it enjoyable doing this? Because personally, when if I talk about my experience of working, like we applied for many competition. We also went for SIS 2017, I guess. We did, we applied in Imagine Cup and these things. So, the main thing that I enjoyed a lot was, working in a team with, as you rightly said, one guy is working on one part, one guy is working on, you're doing your part. And when you see that, the others are also putting in the effort, I guess that's the most enjoyable part. Yeah, over to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, so simply when we were able to like work on that project, right? And I think it was one of the best projects in our entire 4 years, right? Because we were able to build things from scratch. Like I started out thinking of that idea, right? I just put it on paper with my pencil, right? And I thought, yes, I ऐसे work करेगा, it would work like this, it would work like this, right? And when we got selected, we started believing in ourselves, that nothing is impossible, right? If you do the things in a very structured way, then I think you could like cater everything, right? You could do wonders. So simply we realized this, and when we were working on that project, I could even see the discipline, right? Even the determination each of us showed, and even when we went to the competition, right? It was in Jaipur, right? And when we went there, so no one was afraid of winning, because obviously there were a lot of teams struggling in those 2 3 nights. But yeah, we did not even thought of anything, and we were like constantly focusing on our idea, constantly improving our things, and incidentally, like jury members liked that project, right? And we were declared first runner-ups. So yeah, that came out as an interesting thing for us. And even when we went out from that, when we like went back to our college, right? We were getting a lot of praises, right? And we were like talk during those days, uh, and people were coming to us that you have won this competition, how you are feeling now. So we said, like, this is just a simple thing, right? We did not win that competition as a winner, but we came first runner-ups, right? But I think the inputs which we did put, right, they did not see those inputs, and they were just telling us, यार तुम्हारा तो लक काम कर गया, uh, तुम्हारा लक अच्छा था, तुम्हारी किस्मत अच्छी थी, यू वॉन दैट कॉम्पिटिशन. तो आई सजेस्टेड कि यार ऐसे नहीं होता है, यू हैव टू स्ट्रगल अ लॉट, यू हैव टू सी द नाइट्स व्हिच वी स्पेंट, वी वर वर्किंग constantly for entire those 10 to 15 days for structuring out things. And then we participated in again in Pushpa Gujarat Science Cities competition, right? So
Mhm.
At back then in 2018, when we participated, we won third prize, right? Third or maybe second prize. But this time, when we presented our idea to them, the jury members were simply amazed, and we were able to win first prize, right? So that thing, like, made us more, you could say, trustworthy, right? We were able to trust each one of us, and we were able to believe that we could do a lot of things, and we could simply start a company someday from this.
Yeah, definitely. The experience that you generate from these things is something that counts a lot. So definitely, that is something that matters a lot. Like you went there, you work in that team, and like you were talking about the takeaways, right? Winning and these things are definitely are the titles you get, but that experience is the most important, and definitely you were able to convert it in the next competition. So that's awesome. So with that, like I was quite interested in one of your, patents that you files that says, noiseless horn. So man, can you put some light on this? How your horn is noiseless? Yeah.
So yeah, so this is one such idea which you were talking about, that simply this idea seems like very vague, right? How a horn could be a noiseless horn, right? So yeah, basically when we started working out on this project, we realized the same thing. कि यार ये हम क्या कर रहे हैं? Like what are we trying to do? But the problem which we found out, that obviously there we saw that the noise pollution, right? It was in rise, and that is just due to the honking of vehicles, right? So we found out this problem statement, and we thought that let's try solving this problem. So we started structuring out things, and we put out a thought. Let's do one thing, right? Let's divide categories into two parts. So one would be four wheelers, another would be three wheeler, or maybe or two wheeler, right? So for four wheelers, we thought that there would be a button inside the car, right? That would not honk out a horn in the public or in the outer atmosphere. Rather, how would it work? So as you give a call, right? Uh, you give a call from this number to another person, right? No one in between hear the things, right?
Right,
So
right.
that way we worked on that thing, that whenever you would honk from your car, the another person who is sitting in his car, he would only hear the honk, right? Or he would only hear the horn. So that was a thing which we used. So we thought of installing some sender receiver, or maybe the duo combination in both the vehicles, in each and every vehicle, right? And that thing worked out well for us. So we thought that there would be some emergency conditions as well, right? So let's install some emergency button, or let's install some things so that you could even honk in the public whenever it's needed, right? So yeah, installing that thing worked well for us. And for two wheelers, what we thought, that let's install this inside a helmet, right? You would hear the horn inside your helmet, but that would be very limited, right? You would not hear all the horns honking around, but you would hear the very nearby things, right, or nearby vehicles, those who are honking, then only you would be able to hear.
Mhm.
So yeah, in this way, we thought of working on noiseless horn.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. That's a really good concept because you know you one definitely get this is a big problem when you're on a busy road, and especially when you're returning from home, like you will have experience coming back from your office time, and that is the time a lot of honking and those things keep on going. So that's an amazing, like even I was curious at how you guys are doing it. So that's an amazing solution. So with that, one question that I had in my mind is that one thing that I realized, like that to make things happen is you need a team, right? Even if you're going for a competition or anything you're doing. So like many people struggle in getting that team formed, or maybe interacting with people with similar thoughts, etc. So what's your suggestion, or kind of tips for people like people, that how they can form a team, a like-minded team, and how one should be looking for when they're looking for a team? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's another amazing question, right? So talking about my selection of team, right, or our team. So simply, we were like very fortunate enough to build a team in the first year itself, right? And what the thing which worked well for us, right? We all had a roll number nearby to each and every one of us, right? And even we used to sit in a single room when we used to give exams, right? So that thing was second thing which worked well for us. And the third thing, as we were always in our college time, we were always in our top 10 or top 5 from the entire batch, right? We used to keep a bet that a person who would not be in top 10 or top 5, that person would give or throw a party to all the other people, right? So in this way we coordinated with each and everyone, and we always wanted to be at the top, right? So talking about things for finding a team, I would suggest that you should start working out on a project or a product yourself first, right? Obviously we even when we thought of an idea, let's say if I thought of an idea, right, I started out working myself, and reach out to few teachers or maybe few college faculties of yours, right? And they know that who is a person who could resonate with you, right, who could resonate well with you, and who is highly driven, right? And who would be passionate in making this thing a reality. So first thing I would recommend that reach out to your college faculties, right? Second thing, if you are not able to do that, try executing things firstly individually, right? And let's say after you are done with executing, come back and reach out to your friends that see, I have worked on this project, I've worked on this product. Do you like this thing? Do you like the goal which I have kept in my mind, right? And another thing I would say that at that particular time you should work as a team, right? You should not be the person who is just guiding them or who is just giving orders, right? That thing doesn't work because you are still in college. And I think if you are like coordinating well, and if you are keeping in that state of yours that you don't know nothing, right, you know nothing, then I think you would be able to connect with them better, right? And you would be able to learn from them, and even teach them few things which they want to learn from you, right? So this is another thing which you should keep in your mind. And other than that, there are a lot of hackathons going on, right? Like there are college level hackathons, there are national level hackathons. So try participating in those hackathons, right? Don't limit yourself to participate in just one or two hackathons. Like I would suggest, if you want to build out a team in your even in your first semester, you should go on to participate in 3 4 hackathons, right? In your entire semester, and then only I think you would be able to find a better team. So
So,
yeah, these are
yeah,
all.
what is your like? What according to you, what is the time duration that you need, to identify that the team that you're working with is that perfect team that you're looking for? Like, what is that? Like you said that 3 hackathons can do it. So, what in general terms, like maybe it's quite true for a startup also. Like if I want to get into some idea and I want to start it, so I'm looking for a team, right? So, what is that minimum duration? Like maybe in terms of months or years that I can make out that yeah, this is the perfect team. Yeah.
So yeah, I think there is no minimum duration, right? You might have seen that some companies are not even performing well in the market, whereas their ideas are really good, right? That is just because they don't have good teams in place, and they struggle a lot, right? They are struggling from last 5 years or last 6 years, right? So there is no limited time, right? Uh, I would say that if you are fortunate, you would find the team very soon, right? And for the another question which you asked about that how you should figure out that this is your perfect team, right? So I would give few takeaways for that. So first is let's say if you're working on a project, right? Or let's talk about working on a product. If you're working on that product and you are seeing that if I've given this responsibility to that team member, right? Or if we have divided the work, is that person working on that thing with a highly driven mind, right? Or is he or she able to work on this or work on that and give proper outputs, right? That would be first thing. Second thing, trust. Like you should not blindly trust on anyone, right? I would say, but you should be able to trust on that person, right? You should be able to put trust. If you are not able to do that, or let's say there are some clashes in both of you, right? I don't think you would be able to survive more than 2 days because you would end up fighting with one another. So that thing is very important. That have trust uh, uh, with whom you are going to work, right? If you would not have, you would not survive. Third thing would be work as a team. Don't let's say if someone, let's say if you are working as a team, right? And if you are working in a team and someone starts giving you orders, or someone starts putting you in that place where you are not able to work or not able to show your potential, right? um, I think you should leave that team and go find another team, right? So another takeaway from this would be that don't let your team to be in a constrained manner, right? Let them go open, let them explore different things. They would make mistakes, you would make mistakes, and no one is perfect, right? And you would simply learn from all those things. So yeah, I think these were a few takeaways which worked well for us, and it would work well for you as well.
Yeah, so if you get a choice, like if you are choosing people, right, and you like there's a person who has the right skill set that you need for a particular particular problem that you're solving or something. On the other hand, the person is having is has that drive for that thing that you're doing, right? They're like two different things. One person is having a has a drive in inner drive to achieve it, while the other person is having the skill set but may not be motivated. So if you choose between these two things, which is the thing that you're gonna pick? Yeah.
So I would go with the first one, right? Let's say if you are highly driven, right? As you said that if that person has a strong drive, that doesn't matter कोई भी तूने इधर की उधर हो जाए, I would like just simply put all of my efforts into this, right? Then I would surely choose that team over the person who is highly skilled but not very driven. You might have realized that we were very driven, right? We were not good with coding skills or not good with programming skills, but still we were very highly driven. We were able to spend entire night working on a project, right? And sleep for 1 hour maximum and go another day present our project, right? So that is a kind of thing which you should have in your team. If you will have that, right? I don't think anyone could stop you from doing wonders.
Yeah, that's great, man. So with that, we come to our final question. So before we close, so you have been such a great multitasker, right? Like you've been able to handle your college work. You've been, like you said, you are in the top, top of your college also. So you're ranking there as well. You're making projects. You're getting patents done. You're working in a team as well. I guess working in a team is also an achievement. Like as you're saying that fights and these things happen, and definitely they are the main things that generally kill a team, a startup, or anything. So even successfully working with a group of people is also a skill. So you've been doing so many things. So what's the hack behind it, man? Like how you manage to juggle all these things, and if you want to share some tips for the other who are coming up, are coming over, like are getting into this. So if you want to share in tips, what are those? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll start out with the college curriculum which we had in our place, right? We always have to pass the exams, right? And we had to attend classes, few classes as well, because some subjects were really tough. So yeah, I start out with a very funny story, and are not very funny, but yeah, very motivating for us as a student. So our college has this policy in place. If you will come in top five or top 10 in your batch, right? You would get two books for your entire semester, and that thing was working as a driving motivation, or that thing was driving us to work well or study well for the exams, right? And always coming in top 10 or top 5. And second story, I talked about it earlier, that the person has to throw a party to all his team members. So that was one thing which I think funnily helped us in to juggle our studies with our projects. Along with this thing, I would recommend that don't um, don't have those things which are struggling you to focus in your studies, right? At some point of time, you have to focus on your studies as well. Otherwise, you would end up getting backlogs, right? And that would become very depressing as soon as you go to another semesters. So you should always try doing those things, or try putting your hands in those things only which you could manage, right? So at one point of time, we had a lot of things, like we were even interning for the position of campus ambassadors, right? We were holding a lot of college responsibilities in our college, as we were leading clubs, right? Then there were some college fests going on. We were participating in those as well, right? Then we were having project competitions. We had to build those projects, and at one point of time, we had to work or submit a minor project as well. So all those things were working in parallel, and for us, we were able to handle those, right? Because we felt that we have done a lot of things, and I'm talking about the that point when we were about to sit for placements, right? So at that particular time, we were only able to manage a lot of things together, right? Otherwise, before that, we were only picking up those things, or only picking up three, four things and putting them in our plate, and we were just performing well in them. And I would recommend that if you are picking out multiple things, right, then you should try focusing on doing things with perfection, right, or near to perfection. And you should like spend your 100% to it, right? Never ever leave anything just near to 80% or 90%. If you are able to put your 100% of efforts, which feels very vague, right? But if you are able to put your let's say 99.9% of effort, right, then I think no one could stop you from excelling in that thing.
That's great, and but before we close, I got one more question. Yeah. So yeah, this is like I'm quite interested for this question. So let's say like we have discussed it, but let's say that an idea pops up in a student's mind, right? Maybe in any year of the college, right? So what are the things that he should do to ensure that he converts it into some kind of asset, like like maybe getting it registered as a patent, or maybe getting a research paper out around that idea, or maybe ending up with a product. So like what are the things that once you have an idea in a head, what are the things that you should go about? Maybe if you can just give us a kind of a things that one should follow, steps one should follow to finally get an outcome out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I could talk about this from my profession, right? In product management itself, right? We are simply converting ideas into reality. And that
Exactly.
is only because I have done a lot of things, or maybe the people who does product management, they might have converted ideas into reality, right? So I'll talk about that from the things which we follow while doing product management, right? So let's say you are given a problem statement, right? You would analyze that what all qualitative things I need to do to solve that problem, right? And what all qualitative data I have to look, right? Then you would look into some quantitative data, right? So that would help you in knowing the numbers. The qualitative data would help you in knowing the behavior, right? How why that problem is occurring simply. And in quantitative terms, you would know the numbers, that how many people are facing this problem, right? So break down your problem into two different things based on data. So after that, you should think of different hypotheses, or you should start thinking of few hypotheses based on data, right? You should take some data driven decisions. You should take some data informed decisions, right? And after that, let's say you are done with building your hypothesis, you have to convert that hypothesis into a proper solution, right? So get it reviewed from your college faculties, right? Get it reviewed from someone who is working in that industry, maybe, right? Then once you get an assumption that yeah, this would work, right? Try framing out or structuring out things in a proper format or proper structure. Uh, I always say that ideation over ideation execution is important, right? Over individual work, teamwork is important. So that
Exactly.
thing comes into place at that this particular time, right? You are structuring out a solution. Think of each and everything which would come in your mind, right? And don't like leave blind spots. Sometimes what happens is if you are leaving a blind spot, that could become a blunder when you are executing it, right? So
Exactly.
never leave that blind spot and execute or think of that solution, that how you would be solving it, how you would be executing it, right? So basically before this, you are talking about the ideation part. In solution, you are talking about the execution part, right? How would you would execute it simply. So after you are done with framing that solution, right, reach out to different teams. Let's say you have a designer in place in your team. You have an engineer or a developer in place in your team, right? Then you have a person who is good with marketing or who is good with sales, right? You should coordinate with that person, that what all things should we keep to market this product, right? And I think while you would be building out that idea, or you would be working out on that idea, you would realize that there are a lot of things which you would have to cater while executing, right? So that thing, I feel you should work on that, on structuring out your processes. So once you are done with like building out a solution, right, building out a product, go into the market, right? I always say that don't build, or maybe the people always say, don't build those products which are not fit for the market, right? Build products, those who could just simply enter into the market and they are fit for the market, right? So I think yeah, this is all things which would help you in building out a product.
Yeah, that's great. Like, one thing also important, like, as you were talking about market fit, right? It is possible that, maybe you're thinking something that may not be market fit, but initially if you're starting, I guess going for something that is market fit is quite easy for you, because it is said that sometime the product that is launched may not be market fit, but the efforts made by the company can make it, right? So but for that you need to be, have a strong backing behind you. So that could be a thing that is there, like, you have a really innovative idea, maybe you can save it for later on and try something simpler to begin with. So that is really a great answer over there, right? So with that, we come to close for this talks, and really enjoyed talking to Naman. And and I'm really great for him to giving his time for us and coming to this show for today. So before we end and end our today's talk, let's get to Naman. And Naman, if you want to say anything, your closing statement for all those people out there who are hungry for innovation, who wants to make something happen. So yeah.
So I always say this to all my college friends, right? Those who are juniors, that or let's say I'll just quickly give an example that happened with me, right? As we were graduating from our college, we found out that our juniors from mechanical engineering, right? They have built up a team of 4 members, 4 to 5 members, similarly like us, and they are working in filing patents, right? They are building out projects and they are getting grants from college, and they are even starting out their own startups, right? So I feel uh, uh, build out those things or build so much of credibility for yourself so that you could leave a legacy behind, right? So this would be a thing as a suggestion for all the teammates.
Yeah, that's great. So, guys, with that, we come to a close, and I hope to see you guys in the next session that we will have on next Saturday. And until then, bye, guys.